having my son, all of my guts falling out in front of my husband's face. It's just been a lot of tragedy, which affects my my energy level.
We have our beautiful guest today. Traveled very far to get her hair detangled. Yes, ma'am. Perfect. How long has it been?
It's been about 6 months now since it's actually been out and detangled.
Okay. And how did it get this way?
Ooh. Well, my hair is very long, very thick, and so whenever I get it wet, it just coils and tangles, and after having medical issues with having the birth of my children, having one half of my small intestines removed, from having my son, all of my guts falling out in front of my husband's face. It's just been a lot of tragedy, which affects my my energy level. So it's hard to do a lot of this natural hair that's thick and long. And so once it gets wet, it just tangles up and tangles up. And the more I wet it and I try to wash it and detangle it, it just gets worse. The dead hair falls out and wraps around, and it became a nightmare. And I don't want to cut it. So my only option was to just pray and ask God for a miracle. Like, what do? I can't detangle it. I went to several stylists. They didn't know how. My family and friends, 3 of us working at the same time, trying to detangle it. It wasn't working. And so the longer I wait to avoid cutting my hair, the more dead hair will fall out, the more it would tangle. So then I just stopped washing it. While I waited for an answer for a miracle. And in the midst of that, my daughter found you online, and she said, "Mom, this is an answer to your prayer. You have to go to this lady." I live in the Washington, D.C. area. I had to travel all the way down here to Miami. It's well worth it, because now I get my sexy back.
Ooh,
so please help me. And I thank God for answering my prayer.
Yes,
and I thank
ma'am.
God for you.
Oh, I received that.
And so definitely, been busy. I'm an entrepreneur as well. I have a lot of clients. My daughter, she's our miracle child. She's 26. She's had 21 emergency brain surgeries. All of that just keeps us going. Then still dealing with my medical issues. And to think I have to do my hair too. And so I tried, but it is too much. Usually my hair is long and flowing, but once it gets tangled, that's it. Please help. To take off my hat and show my hair to anyone outside of my household is not something that I ever do, because this is embarrassing. It is personal. It's like seeing me nude. It's something. I'm ashamed, but yet it's me. I stay inside more, and I just want to get my sexy back, please.
You can tell by hair that she has a lot of hair. This is braided. Look how long it is. This is braided. So perfect. Hopefully we get done in 2 days, but we have it scheduled for 3 days. But hopefully we can do it in 2. So this is kind of hard in here. This is kind of soft. Even though it's soft, it may be challenging. Little webs of hair that get stuck together. It's perfect. Let's go over here. I'm gonna switch to real quick. When's the last time you washed your hair?
The last time I washed it was in May.
Okay, so definitely do a detox.
Okay. I was afraid I may make it worse.
Yeah, most people, that's their fear. That's why they stop washing their hair. Like, people are like, why do people stop washing their hair? Because they're afraid the more they wash it, the worse it gets.
The main problem was there was a band of hair going across that we could not get out. It was like 3 of us trying. I went to a stylist, and the stylist, my daughter, myself, and we were trying. I think you're on that band now. It was just so tight. It was like one strip, and no one could get it. And I said, you know what? That's when I really threw up my hands. And I said, okay, I need to pray and find someone who knows how to do this. My family said, just cut it off and start from scratch. My husband said, hey, you in your 50s now, you look good with a nice short cut. But I was like, no, I did not want to cut my hair. This is all from a ponytail, wearing a ponytail, taking it out, slicking it back in, and putting it in a bun. But then it mats, and each time that I wash it, it just mats worse. And the dead hair, falls out and wraps around, and it just gets more and more matted too. It was like the more you try to fix it, the worse it gets. So it's best to leave it alone and just keep it frozen in time. And so that's how, if anyone is wondering how does it get like this, it's like, wow. My hair is so long that it tangles easily anyway, but getting in the ocean with the waves, so it's beating it. So then I put it in a ponytail and say, okay, I'll fix it all when I get back to the resort. But by that time it's dried out, so it's matted more. And then I put it in a ponytail and put a bun and say, well, this will get me through the vacation until I get home. And by the time you do that and then wash it, it just seems to mat more. It was just like a never-ending cycle until I just had to stop, and I couldn't do anything to it. And that's when my family said, just cut it. And I realized it has to be an answer. I appreciate that. It was meant. You're right.
Yeah.
I was meant to be here.
Yeah.
It's for a purpose about more than here.
Yeah.
It's wholeness, wellness. We have to be whole. But again, this is just the outside, but what's inside is coming out.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's usually a compilation of various things in life. It's not just one. It's not just because I have a lot of clients. That's just one.
That's just one girl.
And for me to raise my hands and do my hair for a long period of time is difficult because my medical history. So I lose energy fast. Because, to have my son, who's 23, I had to have 1/2 of my small intestines removed. And it was just so horrible. When I had him, I had the C-section. And over those 3 days, I kept complaining to the doctors and nurses that my cesarean felt like it was coming open, like the stitches were coming undone. And they kept saying, oh, you're just in pain, like I'm just a nagging, complaining woman or something. They didn't take it serious. But at that 3rd day, I get up at around 3 in the morning, I stand up, and my whole cesarean section opens because all the stitches were undone, and all my guts fall out right in front of my husband's face. It was horrible. And the doctors and nurses are crying and screaming and praying and quoting scriptures. They started singing all kinds of songs. And so we're laying there, and they were saying, we don't have a procedure for this. And so they laid me on the bed, and they stuffed all my guts back inside my body, and they rushed me to the emergency room. So in doing all of that, they messed up my insides, my intestines. And so, over time, it took like 2 years of a lot of problems. And then my husband rushed me to the hospital and realized that 1/2 of my intestines, my small intestines, had to be cut out because they said that they were dead. They're supposed to be pink like your tongue. They were pitch black like your face mask.
Wow.
They had a lot of blood clots, and they were twisted and mangled. He said, the doctor said it was like wet spaghetti noodles tied in knots.
What?
And so they had to cut out my 1/2 of my small intestines to save my life. They said that it was full of gangrene and was about to explode.
What?
And I'm like, what just happened? And so because of that, it's my energy level because of how I absorb food. I eat food and it doesn't last a long time like you all do. And so I'm constantly eating and drinking, and and my food is gone. I'm using the bathroom, eating and drinking. That's just my life for the past 20-something years. And so the energy level goes fast. And so as I'm raising my hands and I'm trying to do my hair And I get worn out, and I'm telling my husband, I'm so tired. He's like, tired of what? You're just trying to do your ponytail. I'm like, I can't get this stuff out. I am exhausted. I have to lay down and take a break. And so all of that on top of everything, it's a lot.
It's a lot,
You
girl.
just don't know people's story. And I have to deal with that stuff daily. And my husband would say, well, why don't you just go see the lady, get your hair done, and let's just start from scratch, or just cut it off and start from scratch. So I'm here. I have changed, and I'm moving forward.
Yes, ma'am.
My energy is going to be awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
My hair is going to be awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm getting my sexy back.
Come
How about
on.
that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Come on. Yes, ma'am. I'm here for the sexiness.
That's right.
And the energy and all that. Yes, ma'am. Let's go ahead and receive that.
Yeah, they say, when you see me, this is not the end of my story.
Oh, girl, come on.
Yeah, my daughter, she's 26. Wonderful. Ashley, we call her the miracle baby because she was born with a large portion of her brain missing from ear to ear straight back. That brain wasn't there. It was just a cyst on her brain. Yeah. And that part controls movement, coordination, learning, and balance. And so they told us that she would be a vegetable. They only gave her 2% chance to be born alive and be well.
2%?
2%. And they kept asking us to abort even when it was time for the C-section. As they were going over anesthesia and things, the doctor said, are you sure you don't want to just abort this baby? Why go through it? The baby is probably just not going to be able to hear, not going to be able to see, not going to be able to talk, and won't be able to move. So you're just going to be caring for a vegetable in a vegetated state. And we believe God because God told us that it's going to be okay. So my husband and I laying there getting ready for the C-section, we said, no, we're having this baby and God's going to work a miracle because that's what he told us. Well, sure enough, she was born. Her, APGAR scores when the baby is born to see how they're mentally capable and intelligent. Well, hers was top, I think it's 10 out of 10. And so all of her life, you know, God really truly blessed her, but all of her life she's always been an honor student. She just graduated graduate school. Come on. So I said, go ahead, girl, you got 2 degrees. She's had 21 brain surgeries because she had a lot of extra brain fluid on the brain. So she had 2 devices called a shunt to drain that fluid, so they would break down or get infected. So she would always have to get them replaced.
21 surgeries. 21.
And each time, Mom never left her bedside. I stayed there. Sometimes it would be 3 days to a week. Sometimes it would be 3 months straight. But I slept at her bedside in a chair. I was not leaving my baby. And I thank God for that.
Think about it. That's the one they told you to abort.
That's the one. She would be there with all of her school books at her bedside, and the doctors would say, you don't have to worry about school. You're excused from school. She was like, nope, I don't want to fall behind. So she's a persevering one, and that's why she was always
She surely is. I've been like, no schoolwork for me.
Exactly.
One call, I'm not even going to school. It's over. If I yarn too hard, Mom, no school. I don't feel good. We keep it real over here. So all this is detangled. We have this left for tomorrow. This is done. That's done. This is done. And we have this piece in here that needs to be done. You see us. Okay. Day 1 hair. Perfect. Oh, you're so pretty. Perfect. been there long.
I got my sexy back.
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead and comb all this sexiness. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Woo.
I feel like a new woman. I got my sexy back. This is me. This is me. I don't know who that other person was who walked in, but I feel revived and renewed, and I'm ready to just live, guys. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Got it back.
2 days of detangling. Not that much hurt either. Yay.
Yay.